Hey guys, Sunday evening, Eagle Trading checking in, Henry, 7:41 p.m. Gonna make this short and sweet. Gonna go through a little UVXY channel charting and just make some comments about the market. I'm pretty negative on the market. Obviously, it's easy to say now with the futures down, but someone asked me before the futures even opened whether I thought the Fed rate cut would be a positive, and I actually thought it would be a negative. I mean, we're close to zero as it was, and they just brought down the rates to zero. So there's a lot of structural issues in the market that I've never seen before in all my years of trading. Seeing a lot of ETFs getting disconnected from the underlying assets. I don't like some of the put call ratios on the 200-week moving average. So I don't think we're at a bottom yet. You could see us penetrate that low that we just made recently. I don't think it'll be by too much in this current downdraft, but I do look for a lot lower on the S&P 500. So it's hard for me to say until I start seeing some action tomorrow morning, obviously, but some chart formation over the 5 or 10 day period once we break that low. So things I don't like about the market, obviously the close on Friday was a little bit suspect. The volume was 20% less than Thursday on a down day. So looked like short covering, looked like some people were just pulling away their sell orders going into the weekend. They felt like it was enough, so the bids were they're catching some bids. So real quick, back to UVXY, and then I'll go through some numbers. Like I said, 1950 is my S&P target. I just don't know whether we waffle around at a lower level prior to this recent low, and then we break down and hit those numbers, or we just go straight there. So here's my UVXY channels that I kind of trade during the day. You can see that little time frames, they start to make little discernible patterns. I like to touch candles on UVXY before big directional changes. Obviously, here's a low before a big directional change. There's a high before a big directional change. Once these patterns start forming, there's also patterns within patterns too that we can look at. The main thing that I also look at is on a 5 minute. These are 1 minute, but I use a 1 or 5 minute, but you can still see the same result. Looking for the RSI below 30 to buy. Here you can see the RSI getting well below 30, or I think you're down around 12 or 13. So here's your gap up, overbought, but not too overbought, and you can start waiting for the pattern to form. Huge spike here, and you break above 80. This was an opening, so I don't trade in the first 15-20 minutes because the volume is usually tremendous. And then here's another thing that I was looking at the other day was the RSI here making new highs and not making new highs on the on UVXY. It was in this area right here. So here you have the big spike up, a little bit of pullback along the trend line, and I'll zoom in on those later, but these are my lines from trading on Friday. And then you make a high, but the RSI is lower. You're still above your 75 and 70 areas, but you're making a lower high. That would have been a sell signal right there. So obviously you can see the result from there. But when you pull back and look at it from the bigger perspective, you can see some of these big directional changes are starting to form a pattern. A to B, B to C, and then where do we close on the C on Friday? Spot on there. So obviously if things continue the way they are in the futures, Monday morning is going to be ugly, and these patterns start to make more and more sense. And like I said, there's patterns within patterns too, but while you're trading it, keep that RSI channel up there and you can take a look at that. Like I said, there's patterns start to develop within patterns, and you can start to figure out kind of where you want to trade during the day here. These were some patterns that I was looking at. They look a little like a bunch of little crazy squiggles, but once you start to zoom in on them, then they start to make sense. So you can see patterns like this starting to form all day long. And it's a good way to trade UVXY. You can buy SVXY on these little peaks once these things start to form. And then you sell your SVXY, you jump on UVXY. All day long this stuff's going on. This was a news-oriented spike here. I don't remember if I was in UVXY or not. I probably wasn't. I didn't get that lucky. I probably would have sold it well ahead of this channel here and then missed out on that move. But obviously if you're holding it and you break down below back into the descending channel, you're getting out. But these are pretty accurate. I mean, keep your RSI up. I'll have some more stuff coming out Monday morning on what I think the market's doing, and we'll go from there.